What is going on, everybody? Today I'll be doing my top players that you need to watch in the Scouting Combine. The Scouting Combine invitations are sent and everyone is finalized who will be going to the Scouting Combine. Today I will be telling you the top players that you need to watch from every single position. The Scouting Combine is the last chance for players to really prove themselves. And this year's draft has a bunch of talented players. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Please like the video, comment, and of course subscribe for mock drafts every single week. And let's get right on into it. So the first position, the quarterback position, I have Justin Herbert and Jordan Love. Justin Herbert, I think, has been underrated, and I really think he could prove himself in this combine, why he's a legitimate top 3, top 4 quarterback. And Jordan Love, I think, is a first-round talent. He has the talent to be an amazing quarterback in the NFL. Kind of like a Patrick Mahomes, has to develop off the bench, obviously. But really, I think his fundamentals are there and his footwork is there. And the combine is only going to prove why he should be a top quarterback in this year's draft. Next up with the running backs, I have Jonathan Taylor and Cam Akers, two running backs who I think should definitely be considered as top running backs. Both projected to go in the second and third rounds. I think that the combine should hopefully bump up their stock a little bit more. Definitely two talented players. The wide receiver position, Jalen Reagor and CeeDee Lamb. Jalen Reagor has fallen a little bit in most mock drafts, and I think that he shouldn't really be falling. I think that he has the definite talent to be a top wide receiver in this year's draft, maybe a top 6 wide receiver. And the only really scary problem is that his height, he's a little small. But that shouldn't really be a problem nowadays in the NFL where we have small wide receivers like a Tyreek Hill. He's fast, he has good hands, and I think he's a legitimate top wide receiver and should be considered a first-round pick. And CeeDee Lamb, he's fighting with Jerry Jeudy for the #1 overall wide receiver pick. I think that he definitely has the talent to be the number one wide receiver, and hopefully the combine could go in his favor. Next, we have offensive tackles, Mekhi Becton and Jedrick Wills. Mekhi Becton has been climbing up mock drafts, and I think that with the good combine, he definitely will solidify himself as a top 4, maybe even top 3 offensive tackle. Jedrick Wills, a lot of people have Jedrick Wills as their #1 offensive tackle, and I believe he is. He has great hands, very flexible, and has great footwork. I think that with the right combine, he could definitely be a #1 offensive tackle in this year's draft. Next up, we have the center position, Tyler Biadasz and Cesar Ruiz. Sorry if I butchered that name. But Tyler... two centers are not really the main problem for teams this year, but they're both back ends first round to beginning of the second round. I think they both just need to prove themselves why they should be the top 2 centers taken off of the boards. Both two talented centers that are very shifty and have long, great hands, and a great combine can definitely prove why they are the top 2 centers in this year's draft. Now on to the defense. We have the edge rushers, Clavon Chasen and Julian Okwara. So Clavon Chasen, he's made it in my top 12 for my last mock draft. If you have not checked that one out, link will be in the description below. I think he's definitely one of the most talented players in this year's draft. Very great hands. He's quick at getting to the quarterback. Great gap penetration. I think he's just an animal, very elusive, and if he's going to tear up this combine, I have no doubt about that. And if he does, I think he's a legitimate top 10 pick in this year's draft. And Julian Okwara hasn't really proved himself in college, but he has the build to be a very, very good edge rusher. And most mocks have him going in the late first round to early second round. I think that he should definitely be a first round pick, but he's going to have to prove himself in this combine. Next up, you have the defensive tackle position, Javon Kinlaw and Justin Madubuike. Sorry if I butchered that name too. Javon Kinlaw, great at getting to the quarterback, great in run stopping, and he's strong. And I have him going in the top 16, top 18 in all my mock drafts lately. I think that he's a definite top 18 pick, top 16 pick, and the combine's just gonna have to. He's just got to prove himself in the combine, but he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. And if you're an offensive tackle, offensive guard, you do not want to be going up against a guy like Javon Kinlaw. And Justin Madubuike, he's going the end of the first to early second round in most mock drafts. I think he's another first round talent, and the combine's just going to have to prove why he is a first round talent, and hopefully he blows up the combine. Next up, we have the linebacker position. I have Isaiah Simmons and Patrick Queen. Isaiah Simmons, really had an awesome season. Definitely a top 5, top 4 pick. Maybe people are talking about how he could go to the Detroit Lions. If he does want to go in the top 3, top 4, he is going to have an exceptional combine and prove why he is a top player in this year's draft. Same with Patrick Queen. I have him going in the top 25, top 22 maybe. Patrick Queen's an exceptional player, has great strength, great with his hands, also great at open field tackling. I think that Patrick Queen is a legitimate linebacker in this year's draft, and he's just going to have to prove himself in the combine. Next up, we have the cornerback position. I have Christian Fulton and Trayvon Diggs. Christian Fulton has always been a top 20 pick for me. I really like Christian Fulton, and I think that this combine's huge for him to solidify him as a top 20 pick and as a top 2, top 3 cornerback in this year's draft. Trayvon Diggs has taken a little fall, and really this combine's he's gonna have to prove himself and why he shouldn't be falling, but he should be rising. So our last position, we have the safety position. I have Grant Delpit and Xavier McKinney. It's going to be interesting between these two. They're both fighting for the number 1 safety position. Right now, I'm going in favor of Xavier McKinney. I like him better than Grant Delpit, but it's all going to come down to the combine and how these players do. It's going to be really interesting, but I think that they're both really good safeties, and if whatever team they're on, the fans should be very happy. So that is it for this video. Please subscribe for mock drafts every single week and like the video. I'd appreciate that so much. Thank you all for watching, and peace.